Every adult will need a new government-issued digital ID.
A digital ID.
Having all of your personal information stored in one place.
We will spare no effort to make Europe an AI continent.
To integrate you into this great reset.
So how soon could central bank digital currencies become a reality?
You know, we should be helping countries to develop a national digital infrastructure.
Imagine every purchase you make, every app you use, every place you visit, all contributing to a single digital profile, a personal digital identity. This way, many details of your life could be stored in a unified digital record. That profile might eventually connect with your bank, your doctor, your employer, government agencies, and even your car. This isn't science fiction. It's a vision that organizations like the World Economic Forum are advocating, and that governments and tech companies are gradually moving toward. The rollout of this digital ID infrastructure is truly global and coordinated. Oracle founder and billionaire Larry Ellison emphasizes the need to feed AI systems an immense amount of all available government data.
For what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
The first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. Basically, I have to tell the AI model as much about my country as I can. If you want to improve population health, you have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data.
While this is unfolding thousands of miles away, similar developments are emerging in the West. Digital identity programs, surveillance grids, real-time tracking, complex databases, and carbon footprint systems. This is an ever-growing concern, as many of these initiatives are gradually moving from pilot projects into real-world implementation.
We'll make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work.
Western countries are rapidly developing their own digital ID programs. The UK has announced a national digital ID scheme.
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work.
Europe's digital transformation by 2030.
Governments, banks, and tech companies around the world envision a future where every person has a digital ID, living in a society where everything is digitized, monitored, and managed.
We want to offer to Europeans a new digital identity.
They're basically proposing to have a bunch of your information in one place connected to a digital identity. It's about building the infrastructure of control so that then you can control people's behavior.
In which you will have to have a digital ID to live your life. So the right to work, then the right to rent, banking, education, childcare, voting.
Money could soon evolve into a global central bank digital currency, eliminating cash and allowing every transaction to be tracked by governments, banks, and tax authorities. Your digital wallet would be linked to your ID card. The president of the European Central Bank says the euro is moving toward a digital currency.
And we work very hard on making sure that we have a digital euro so that we have a European solution. So why not our currency as well?
Well, once you have the digital money system, then there's all sorts of
services and applications that can be built on top of that.
Yeah. People are pushing in a very obvious and very specific direction. They want digital currency, centralized digital currency that they control, and they want to get everybody on a social credit score system. They'll probably connect it to some sort of a vaccine app. Or if you want to travel around, all they would need is another pandemic to try to push that shit through.
Digital ID is the end of democracy as we know it, and an irreversible step into a dystopian future.
This new digital identity wallet will be used with a new kind of digital money. Unlike Bitcoin, which is decentralized and not controlled by anyone, this digital money, called a CBDC, central bank digital currency, is created and managed directly by central banks.
A central bank would directly issue a CBDC, and then that's the currency that the people would be using in wallets that are managed by the central bank. Prominent central bankers have been going on about the need to create a new financial system and a new financial governance system.
A digital euro, for example, will make it easier for companies and consumers alike.
Banks already maintain massive data points, determining your access to loans and mortgages. With digital currency and a world without cash, banks gain real-time visibility into every payment, every person, company, and the entire economy. Fueled by AI, this vast stream of data gives them a new kind of superpower. And surely it's hard to imagine that the West would turn this system into a Big Brother-style digital prison like China's, right? The World Economic Forum has been very open about its vision of humanity as a digital society.
Our future competitiveness depends on AI adoption.
Well, Europe is one step closer to bringing in its insidious digital ID.
Enter the EU Digital Identity Wallet that enables you to identify yourself to public and private services.
In the name of saving the planet, proposals have been discussed about tracking each person's digital footprint, monitoring factors such as travel, fuel usage, and even consumer habits like clothing purchases. It really comes across as if the West is quietly building its own version of a dystopian system. Europe is set to collect biometric data, making airports permanent biometric checkpoints.
Travel into the European Union is about to get stricter as a new digital system is rolled out this October. We'll have their fingerprints and their faces scanned.
You are going to need to register your details. Photo successful. How marvellous.
Both in China and in European countries, AI-powered surveillance cameras track faces, gestures, and movements everywhere.
The growth of facial recognition and what it's capable of brings with it a host of privacy and civil liberties issues.
Even the car you drive is constantly logged in a giant database.
So at the same time as a facial biometric digital ID is being made mandatory for every single person in the country, cameras are being introduced that scan your facial biometric.
Because what we're effectively talking about here is a Chinese social credit score, isn't it?
Whether it falls into a full-blown Chinese-style social kind of credit system, who knows? But it feels less laughable today, doesn't it, than it probably did, 5 years ago.
Well, are we already living in a world where our privacy is so compromised that this really doesn't add a great deal to it?
Every day, more and more of your life is digitalized and centralized into huge databases.
By 2030, all EU citizens should have access to electronic health records.
Many countries already have digital ID systems, and these are gradually evolving into more centralized frameworks for managing health, taxes, and travel. There is no denying that these digital ID systems can be extremely convenient. No long lines, paperwork, or bureaucracy. You can file your taxes, schedule doctor appointments, and store all your documents in a single, fast, and easy-to-use digital system.
And to interact with governments and businesses across the European Union.
In the future, your digital ID could serve as the key to accessing the internet. At least, that's increasingly being discussed.
An identity that ensures trust and protects users online.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has called for an end to online anonymity.
And force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet.
What's Sanchez's proposal? To link all social media accounts to a European digital identity wallet.
We are that close to a situation where you basically need a digital ID to go online. For example, your online activity will be linked to a digital ID, or certainly there will be people calling for that.
And Europe is already planning to gain access to scan people's messages.
The EU's plan to scan private messages and flag to the police any content suspected of being child sexual abuse.
The big problem here from privacy activists is that everyday users are going to be exposed to a whole new vulnerability, which is the breaking of their end-to-end encryption services.
These programs, mass surveillance, is not about public safety. It is not about terrorism. It is about power. It is about economic espionage, it is about diplomatic manipulation, and it is about social influence.